What up, y'all? DCFAYGOGUY. Today we are going to be reviewing Mad Maxx's Kaleidoscope album, which dropped last year towards the tail end of the summer. And this review right here is a super duper long overdue one. Along with Cloudy Alibi, this is something that I did do a review for. Wasn't overly happy with how it turned out. Ended up scrapping it, and I don't think I did it justice in that review, and I think not doing a review wasn't doing it any justice as well, because this album to me is absolutely amazing. I know jumping into Mad Maxx, a lot of people would tell me that their favorite album or his best album was Where the Wild Things Are. That is an album that I have checked out, and quite honestly and quite personally, I think Kaleidoscope blows that one out of the water, and I think I found the reason why. And part of what prompted me to finally do this review was a conversation I had with the homie Wasteland Waldo. This album to me, I don't know if Mad Maxx intended for it to be like this, but this album to me is a concept album. Throughout the album, we have little skits, starting with the intro, and throughout, at the end of different songs, you have little phone call conversations that Max is having. Starts off with his mom, then he ends up calling 50 Fingers, aka Reverend Street, who he does the podcast, The Carnival Grounds, with. If you have not checked out that podcast, I highly recommend that as well, because that is a great fucking podcast to listen to. If you like listening to juggalos reminisce about shit that is, juggalo shit, it's definitely something that you're going to enjoy. But throughout the album, you have various different skits of Max getting some merch, getting ready for a show that he has going on that night. And also throughout, you have him dealing with things that are going on in the life of this juggalo. Him as a father, a single father, the different struggles of going through doing that. And I think what that did is that added such a theme to the album. And again, I don't know if this was the plan, if it was a happy accident, but to me, the concept of Kaleidoscope then became you're seeing the multi shapes and colors of this one person's individual life, of this one individual's life. The fact that he's a juggalo, the fact that he's a father, the fact that he's a juggalo rapper. He's been through, he's had some experiences being a juggalo rapper. This album to me was just very well put together because of those skits, and it really added to that concept of, showing the different shapes and colors in his life. And I think that was a really cool concept, if that was the concept. This album here, there's definitely a lot of, he lets you know who he is. He lets you know he's Mad Maxx. He lets you know he's a juggalo rapper. And he really talks a lot throughout several songs about the struggles of being a juggalo rapper, about opening up to performing to basically all the other openers that have paid to be on the show. There's a lot of great, experiences that he shares throughout this album. Obviously, there's a really great track that kind of breaks up the album as well, and I think the album then shifts. The first half of the album is him basically talking about who he is and, just kind of repping and flexing who he is. But after you get to Lovecraftian featuring Low-Key, Doc Gruesome, and Samson, which is a banging track, that to me, it's on some Mission Infect type shit, but it's also just the name of it. I think he knew going into that, he had to know he wanted to have Loki on there because, Loki has the whole 12 oracles, and some of them touch into kind of Lovecraftian type elements as well. But then the album shifts and it gets a little bit more personal. You have songs like Life on Stage. I think Life on Stage happens right after Lovecraftian. Merry-Go-Round, I think it's Merry-Go-Round Broke Down is the full name of the song. That's basically him addressing all the other juggalo rappers that are out there right now. Just kind of, I think, trying to give his, lesson to them of, I've been through this, I know what it is. It's kind of a grass isn't as green on the other side as you think it would be kind of thing. But then again, it shifts. He talks about, I'm assuming he's been married and divorced. He gets into the personal stuff of his love life, the fact that he's a single dad, losing a friend. The album gets really personal in the second half, and that's honestly probably where my favorite half of the album is. That's where most of my favorite tracks are going to be. My favorite song on the album is Single Dad. I don't have any kids. I'm not a single dad, but it just resonates with me so much. I think I empathize a lot. I'm an empath, and so I empathize with what that must feel like, what that must be like. And so a lot of times it's the personal tracks that really draw to me. But yeah, absolutely love Mad Maxx's Kaleidoscope. If you have not listened to this, you can go find it on DSPs right now, and I highly suggest you give it a listen. And again, it's one of those things where you're going to want to hit play and just listen to it all the way through one time and just absorb the full album, its full scope, its full scale one time, and then, you know, multiple times if you're really liking it. Mad Maxx's Kaleidoscope, it dropped last summer. I think it's an absolutely great album, and I didn't give it the proper respect that I needed to when it first came out, when I first tried to give a review for it. So I wanted to do that now, and I wanted to drop this on today of all days because my favorite track is Single Dad. But anyway, if you have heard Mad Maxx's Kaleidoscope, tell me down below what are your favorite tracks from the album. If you did not care for the album, you can leave those thoughts as well. Just remember to be respectful. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time.